Imagine standing on a cracked, forgotten track, surrounded by stadiums gleaming with sponsorships and crowds chanting names you've never heard. This was Maya, an athlete no one expected to win, not because she lacked talent, but because life had thrown her every curveball imaginable. From a childhood marked by scarcity, no fancy gear, no personal coach, to battling a lingering injury that doctors said might end her career, Maya's journey was anything but easy. She wasn't the fastest at the start, nor the strongest in the gym, but what she had was relentless curiosity and a refusal to accept the limits written by others or herself. Instead of expensive training sessions, Maya turned to old race footage and scientific studies on biomechanics. She dissected every stride, every breath of elite runners, replicating and adapting techniques to fit her body's unique rhythm. Her mornings began before dawn, not just running laps, but also journaling her progress, noting what felt right and what didn't. On days when the injury flared, she embraced alternative strategies: yoga to rebuild flexibility, visualization exercises to sharpen focus, even meditation to quiet the frustration that bubbled beneath the surface. One race day, the stadium buzzed with anticipation for the favorite athletes, and Maya's name barely made it onto the scoreboard. But as the gunshot echoed, she unleashed a strategy born from months of meticulous planning. She conserved energy in the first half, running just behind the pack, her breath steady, her mind sharp. Then, entering the final stretch, she channeled every ounce of pain and hope into a surge that left the crowd breathless. Crossing the finish line wasn't just a personal victory. It was a transformation. Maya had rewritten her story, not by defying odds with raw talent alone, but through relentless learning, adaptive strategies, and emotional resilience. What can you take from Maya's journey? First, recognize that obstacles aren't walls, but puzzles waiting for your unique solution. When faced with limitations, shift from frustration to curiosity. Ask yourself, what can I try differently? Second, track your progress with honesty and detail, because small adjustments, logged and analyzed, compound into breakthroughs. Third, when pain or setbacks hit, explore alternative paths instead of surrendering. Physical rest, paired with mental training, can keep you moving forward in unexpected ways. Maya's victory wasn't just on the track, it was in her mindset. So next time you feel overshadowed or stuck, remember the quiet power of patience, innovation, and inner strength. The race isn't always to the fastest, but to those who keep moving with intention, learning, and heart. But Maya's story doesn't end at the finish line. In fact, that moment was just the beginning of a new chapter. With her newfound confidence and hard-earned wisdom, she began to inspire others around her. She started volunteering at community centers, sharing her knowledge with young athletes who, like her, faced barriers that seemed insurmountable. She taught them not only how to run, but how to think, how to analyze their own performances, how to listen to their bodies, and how to cultivate resilience when the world told them no. Her approach was holistic, and she emphasized the importance of mental health, encouraging mindfulness practices and emotional expression. She introduced her protégés to the idea that setbacks were not failures, but lessons, vital components of growth. Her own story became a beacon, illuminating a path through adversity with determination and adaptability. Maya also collaborated with local coaches and sports scientists, working to develop accessible training programs that didn't rely on expensive equipment or facilities. She advocated for inclusivity in sports, pushing organizations to recognize potential beyond traditional metrics of talent and to value grit and creativity. As her influence grew, Maya faced new challenges, and balancing her athletic ambitions with her community work tested her limits. There were days when fatigue threatened to consume her, when doubts crept back in, whispering that she couldn't do it all. Yet, she applied the very principles that had carried her this far, breaking tasks into manageable steps, seeking support, and nurturing her well-being. Through it all, Maya remained a student of life, and she continued to study advances in sports science, experimenting with nutrition, recovery techniques, and even the psychological aspects of competition. She understood that mastery was a journey without end, fueled by curiosity and humility. Her story resonates because it is deeply human. It's about more than winning medals or breaking records. It's about the courage to redefine what success means on one's own terms. It's about recognizing that the straightest path is not always the fastest, and that sometimes the most meaningful victories are those won within. So when you face your own cracked track, your own crowd of doubts and challenges, remember Maya. Remember that the journey is yours to shape. Embrace the cracks as places where your roots can dig deeper and your wings can stretch wider. Let every setback be a lesson, every moment of pain a signal to adapt and grow. In the end, the race isn't just about crossing a finish line. It's about the person you become while running it, the resilience you build, the wisdom you gain, and the heart you cultivate. Keep moving forward with intention, learning, and heart, and you will find your own victory waiting on the horizon.